Welcome to another episode of Fanarchy with Rivet. I have special guest with me, Twiz. How you doing today?
Yo, what's good, man? How you feeling?
Doing really well, man.
That's what's up.
How's Chicago been for you?
Man, Chicago don't owe me anything, bro. Like, Chicago, I definitely will be back to Chicago. First time here, and this week was a whole vibe.
What you been up to?
Ooh, man. Let's see. There was like a networking event they had on Monday. That was pretty cool to kind of link with other artists that's doing stuff here in the city. Last night we had the festival at Wolf Lake, or the Pavilion. Shantae and Ja Rule was there. That was definitely lit. And then also one of the main reasons I'm here is I host summer youth music camps. So that's a pretty cool week right there.
Yeah, we should actually even talk a little bit about that.
Oh, for sure.
The summer youth music camps.
For sure.
How's that going this summer?
Oh, it's cool. We ended up shooting part of their music video. So the summer music camps that we host, we actually just talk about the power of music, how people can use music to influence others and themselves. It doesn't always have to be what you hear on the radio. And, trying to bring bars back, man, where you're actually saying something and making go rewind. Yeah. And it's a 2-part course, 2-pack camp, where you can not only record your own song with the group, but they also shoot their own music video. We just guide them and help them be creative in that way. And that's always pretty cool to see something that they manifested and created, and it actually turned out to be something really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. How'd you find out about us and what we're doing on the podcast?
Man, listen, anytime that I go to a different city or go a different place, I know networking is like the biggest thing. And, I was on Instagram. That's my platform of choice. And I just search up not Threads. I just started to get on Threads. But I try to do better on Threads because I suck on Twitter. Like Twitter, I don't really post too much on there. And Threads, I was like, okay, now it's no excuse. It's in the same app. It's going on. So I try to post more consistently on Threads than I did with Twitter. And I found you guys just by searching, man. Like, you got to understand these hashtags are life. They're keywords to things. So I put Chicago Podcast on the hashtags. Y'all popped up. I try to see if everything aligned because every podcast ain't equal. I'm not trying to be on a podcast out here wilding and didn't know what I got myself into. That happened one time. Before. Getting out. Yeah, that's a whole nother experience. But
trouble when you got home.
Yeah. Well, no, I wasn't in trouble. I was in trouble while I was there. But it was one of those things. They were like, "You didn't know what kind of podcast is this?" Like, nah, bro, I didn't know y'all got down like that. But yeah, nah. So I try to find things that align with my brand and what I do, and I think that's great. That's cool.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy about that because we do want like anyone who's tapped in with what we're doing. It's on our platform that stops by in the city that wants to come on the podcast, wants to tap in with us to do that. Yeah. And the fact that this is how that happened and we hadn't even met prior makes that even cooler. So.
Yeah, keep doing what y'all doing, man. I appreciate having a platform to even have for artists and creatives to be able to just tap in and get information.
Yeah, I love it. Can you give us a rundown of your background? So your journey to where you're at now and like what made you fall in love with music at the start?
Man, it's been a journey. First, let me just say the stats. I'm a 2-time Grammy nominated music educator. I'm also a music producer, audio engineer, and a content creator. I've loved music since the beginning of time. Like, I did everything with music. I slept with music on. This is back when they had the Between the Sheets back in the day. I don't know if you remember that, but they used to have Between the Sheets, all the radio stations where they play actual slow music, like real slow music. They had that. My mom used to play music every time she rode. I did my homework to music. Like, music was just a part of me. And I started doing music on my own probably about when I was around high school age, about 14, 15, really got into it. And, just like any other teenager, you start to rap like your favorite rappers and stuff like that.
Who was your favorites?
Favorites? I didn't have like one favorite because I'm like, as a producer, I love everything. I love just about everything. But the prime rappers during that time, this was Lil Wayne in his prime, talking about Lights Out. The Block is Hot, Lil Wayne during that time. Jay-Z was still doing his thing, but I stayed in the South. I originally stayed in Savannah, Georgia. So Jay-Z, it got played, but it wasn't like play. You knew who Jay-Z was, but Lil Wayne was that. There was, who else was popular?
Probably Tip.
You said who?
Tip.
Yeah, definitely Tip. Definitely Tip. I Am Legend. Urban Legend. And like when he came out with trap music, that changed the whole game. And like I said, I was in Georgia. So you already know.
Right there.
Yeah, you already know. And then that's when you had your Lil Jons and all of that Young Bloods and all that stuff came out. So that was like a real influential time in my life as far as music. And that's just really it really, there's music for everything, every feeling, every emotion. When you mad, you crank it up. You know what I mean? You got 808s blasting. If you just want some chill stuff, you got some chill vibes. So yeah, so music was just always a part of me. And I ended up like getting my own setup. And this is back before like everybody had access to like equipment, because it was mad expensive. You had to go to like the actual big studios back then to actually do that. But I did a lot of my pre-recordings on like a karaoke machine, the tape deck karaoke machine, the 2 tape decks. And I ended up, I didn't know there was such thing as a re-recordable tape back then. So I ended up taking my grandma's Shirley Caesar gospel tape. And
with some other things on it.
Man, listen, right? And what people didn't know is like if you took tissue, you could put it on top of the square of a tape. I know it's hard to explain it because people don't like tape. What is that?
Yeah.
But you put it in top.
Props here.
Yeah, I should have props, right? This is a tape.
Yeah.
Right? But you put it on top of it, and I was able to record over it. And I would record my vocals on there from the karaoke machine, and I had a beat machine that I connected up to the tape deck too. And that's back when you had to have the tape adapter to plug into something else to play it. Yeah. And I would record over that. And obviously it was not gospel music that was being recorded over there. So I accidentally left the tape out one day, and my grandma was like, "Oh, I was looking for this tape," and went and hit play. And yeah, Shirley wasn't seeing it on that tape.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Sorry, Grandma.
She's like, "This my tape."
Yeah. She was like, what is this? And she's a Southern Baptist lady, so you already know. Yeah. So, but I appreciate her because, she was hot with me. But after that, she invested in me, and she bought, she went to Walmart. She didn't know, at that time, she went to Walmart, bought a computer. Oh, you need a computer to do this? She went to Walmart, bought a computer, ended up buying not even a condenser mic. It was just a regular a dynamic mic that you would use. And I ended up getting Cakewalk from one of my friends. That was like my first DAW. And I just started recording on there to do that. So I appreciate her for just like getting me started and really doing that. Because she could have been like, shut it down. You punish me. I don't want you to listen to no music. She could have just killed it. But instead, she saw it was something that I went that lengths to do and supported it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it seems like now you split your time across artist education, producing, engineering. Why is that so important for you to be so multifaceted? Because
that's like the things that I do now is just basically, it stems from the things that I had to basically learn myself. Like nobody taught me how to mix, so I kind of just did it myself. Nobody taught me how to make beats. I kind of just figured it out myself. Nobody taught me to shoot a camera per se. I did go to school and learn. They taught me little things, but school and teach you but so much. I just went out and just did a lot of things myself. I didn't wait for a lot of people to really just tell me. I just went ahead and just did it. I'm a doer. So I'm like, I need this done. I needed it done. And so being that I taught a lot of these things myself, it just really added to the repertoire that I have for the services that I can provide.
That's awesome. And you mentioned just now some of the stats, the accolades, being 2-time Grammy nominated.
Yeah, man.
Which is super cool. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What work do you do in this area with music education, and what do those accolades mean to you on a personal level? Right.
So this is super huge because originally I kind of just like the school that I'm at now. Originally I went there for just to go for like a music teacher position. And the thing about it is I didn't even know I was going to be applying for that. Like I moved to New York in 2019, so it's mad recent. And the job that I originally moved up for to New York was, it kind of fell through. Like the CEO was pretty much acting really shady, but it kind of sucked because I moved with my family, and it was kind of too late because we already paid a down deposit for the apartment we was on. We done invested in the moving truck and all that stuff, so it was just like time to move. And this really happened after we enrolled my daughter. The school that we enrolled her to was probably 10 minutes from our house in New York, and like I went on Indeed. I looked on Indeed. I was like, all right, I need to find some job. And I saw there was a school hiring for a music teacher, talking about studio recording and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, that's my alley. And I went to the school to see where it was at because I saw the address. I'm like, this address looks familiar. And I went there and I saw that the school was in the same building. Now, before I knew this, the school building that I work in, it's like 5 different schools, which I didn't know. It didn't look like it at first. And so I went and talked to the lady who helped register my daughter. I'm like, yo, where's this school at? It says it's in this building. I never heard of it. It's cool. They're looking for a music teacher. I'm trying to do it. She said, that's fine. And she ended up like trying to take me to the school. She's like, I'll take you to the school. And literally before we hit the stairs to go upstairs, she said, it's your lucky day. The principal of the school is right here. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, this is wild. And so I went and talked to the principal. Her name's Miss Keene. Shouts out to Miss Keene. And she was like, oh my God, like she just looks like struck. She was like, you don't understand. I was so worried about filling this position and I didn't know what I was going to do with this. And so she hired me like part-time at first. She was like, we got to work your way in to do that because, you know, originally I didn't have like a traditional route to be a music educator. So at first I helped build the music studio in the school. So like it was just a closet, like a big closet, like storage room, not like a closet. It was like a storage room. Yeah. And we really just turned it out. We started off with styrofoams, but then we ended up like just building it with wood. And then I started to like slowly like integrate like teaching to the kids. They were like, well, what's this? Well, what's that? What's this? And what allowed me to connect with them was that I started doing music, like I said earlier, at high school level. And here we are with students that were hungry to rap, sing, and do things. And after I ended up getting my certification and became a full-time teacher, it just really took off from there. Like it really turned into a great project to where like students were like performing in front of crowds. We partnered with a lot of nonprofit organizations and did events. And to the point now where we have one of our students, Pasto Flacco, shouts out to Pasto Flacco, was good. He ended up getting signed after he graduated. And so after he graduated, he came back with his manager, Brass, and was like, hey, how can we grow this program? Because, you know, this is dope that we were able to get like a gym out this school. And so now we have partnerships with FL Studio and Focusrite to like provide us with like equipment, DAWs and stuff like that. And, you know, that all stemmed from just taking a leap of faith, moving up to New York. So it's crazy.
Yeah. So you have a super long track record of working with music, working with artists. What has all of that taught you?
It just really taught me that you can really do anything you put your mind to. Because I made a promise to myself a few years ago. I was like, hey, I got tired of working my 9 to 5, and I was just like, yo, I just want to do strictly music or whatever the things I like to do. And, you know, with the emergence of technology and the way we're at and the way the world is at now, it's possible. It's possible for you to really do it. And I'm one of the few people that's blessed to say, like, literally every single day I wake up, I choose to do what I love to do every day. They're like, why are you so happy? Because I do what I love to do every day. If I didn't, I tried it. Trust me, I tried walking away from music before. It's not the same. My soul and my heart wasn't into it. So now that I do everything, all those things that you read, like, you know, content creator and all that stuff, now I found gigs and opportunities for me to utilize those talents. Yeah.
And from your content, it touches on everything from like mixing and mastering to like making money as an artist.
That's
to
the big one.
Just everything. And I'm curious, flipping that backwards, what are some mistakes or one mistake that you made early in your career before you knew all the stuff that you're doing?
Not understanding the business side of just how to handle business. Those were the biggest mistakes. Like structuring contracts, like that part right there was huge because contracts help protect yourself and it prepares you for, we would do contracts for when things did really well. But what we didn't have a contract for is what happens when things are really bad. Like you don't think about that. You're like, God, no, it's going to work out. It's going to be good. But what happens if you're at an event and somebody knocks your equipment down? You got insurance, you know, do you have a contract for that? Who's responsible for that? Is it, you know, as a business owner, it's not supposed to just fall on you per se. You're supposed to have things in place to protect your investments. This microphone right here is an investment. You know, your camera, that's an investment. Whatever it is that you purchase to help build your career, those are investments. You have to protect that. And then just understand the rules, like rules and regulations. You don't understand some people get ahead not just because of talent, but just because they're knowledgeable of the rules and regulations and things that's going on. And from my experience, a lot of artists out there, they don't get it, or they're missing out on a lot of things because they don't know. You know what I mean? How many times you see artists out there signing contracts because they see the money and they're like, yeah, this is good. But then they complain and they broke years later. I'm like, I ain't made money off of this, that, and the third, because they didn't know. So I feel like that's the biggest mistakes that I've had. Just it's been business choices and business decisions, and just making sure that I'm prepared for the success that I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah. What were some of those resources that you looked at to get that information before just seeing it actually happen?
Well, I ain't gonna lie, most of it is experience. Yeah. Just really trying it. But over the last few years, as I've been doing music education, I would say joining groups, that has been real instrumental in helping me grow. Other things I would say is follow certain account pages, like on Instagram and stuff like that teach the actual things. Definitely follow me. I help you with that. But there's other groups out there that, if you want to get better, like Music Sync, you can find. They have a whole guild of music supervisors whose whole purpose is to not only join together to help them with opportunities, but to find music. Like, believe it or not, a lot of them struggle with finding artists, because you got to think they're not trying to go to these labels, because the label's going to hit them an arm and a leg for the charge just for a little bit of seconds. But guess what? If I go to an independent artist, they're not going to charge me as much, and they're also direct. I can contact you directly. I don't have to go through an agent. I don't have to go through a label. I can deal directly with you. These are opportunities that are out there that a lot of artists don't know about or don't know how to do that. Another thing is just performing. Like a lot of people think that performance is like selling out big crowds and anything like that. If you're an artist, right? If you're an artist, you can get paid on no matter what the stage is. It don't matter if it's 1,000 people or a little bit of people. If you know what certain stages to be on, you can get paid for your performances regardless. And that's what we have to do a better job at as creators, to know those things to be successful.
Yeah. No, that's really helpful. I'm curious, are there any of those groups that come to mind that you're like, this was really good for you to join specifically early on?
Yeah, for sure. So a recent group that I just joined, the AMP, which is it's a music producer group. They really just tell you about opportunities that you can have as a producer. The Guild of Music Supervisors, that's a cool group that really teaches you how to really get yourself out there. And there's just different little communities. Nikki and Moose, that's a podcast. She does content creation. She's really heavy on the AI stuff right now. So if you tap into that, she teaches you the different tools and things of that nature, how to do that.
Rivet.
Yeah, there you go. Rivet that's what really drew me to you guys. Rivet, and y'all got a whole app. You know what I mean? That's really cool right there. And y'all got a whole app that helps artists reach the people that they need to reach to. That's fire. Yeah.
Can you actually, we're leading into that a little bit. Your interest in the tech side and the industry side. Can you talk a little bit about the tech out there for artists to reach out to their fans, to build more communities? Like, why do you think that that's so important?
Yeah, a lot of people are not tech savvy, and I think you need to change that. Like, you really need to really get into these things that are coming out. And I know AI is kind of crazy right now, but understand it, because ChatGPT, that's a lifesaver. It takes your thoughts, and actually you can ask any question you want, and it'll give you a better idea or a better way to say it, or actually answer it for you for that. I would also say, what other technology that you could possibly use? Like, there's things where you do like speech to text when you're doing music videos, or when you're doing like content for a new song. The reason why people don't really like new songs is because they don't know it. It's not that the song's not good. They don't know the words. So help them out. Like, you shouldn't be releasing any music content without any lyrics on that screen. And there's AI, there's a bunch of them. I really, it's too many to name. But if you do your research, you'll find some. Let's see, what's some other like tech things? It's like super important. Like if there's so many different things. Like if you're mixing, there's different plugins like wave bundles, fab filter bundles, where it help enhance the audio for that. And then of course like Rivet, like the app like that, where it helps you. A lot of artists, they struggle with marketing because they don't understand what marketing is. They they get it confused between marketing and promotion. Those are two separate things. A lot of people don't understand that. They were like, I thought I was promoting. No, it's a little bit of both. Promotion is actually part of marketing. That's what they have to understand. And marketing is just basically understanding who needs to hear your music, what's your demographic, where's your location, what's your target audience, who you need to do that. And then the promotion is doing things to promote to that audience. And so you got like Rivet, like you got Rivet on that. Chartmetric is another platform that you want to be able to utilize that collects the data for the people you are engaged with or the people that you're trying to reach to. And that's what I think a lot of artists are missing on. They don't have that data. Now, Instagram, YouTube, they have like little stats there that you can do, but a lot of those things aren't necessarily 100% accurate because they don't really track on the other different platforms. Now, things like Spotify for Artists, that has really grown really, really, really big. And they actually started coming up with the tools that's necessary for you to be able to be successful as a entrepreneur music creator. Like they have spots where you can do your merch. They have spots that you can like promote different pages, like your beats. Like they have pages for your beats. They have visuals you can upload. You can actually edit now your video inside of these different apps. Shouts out to CapCut because CapCut really stepped on their necks about that. Yeah. That's another one right there, CapCut, where you can do video, edit your videos and stuff like that before you put it in there.
Yeah. What do you feel about and just going further down that line, what do you feel about the phrase, you only need 1,000 super fans as a music creator?
I mean, it just depends on your goal. I would say when you do music, don't think this is a get rich quick scheme. Like I know we see it all the time and it look like they got money and all that stuff. I promise you, it is smoke and mirrors a lot of times. A lot of these artists, they just really got the fame. And yes, the fame benefits them and stuff. But if you're an independent artist, you got to be realistic. Like all this, or pretty much all of it is going to come from you, your pockets, your time, your energy. And so I would say just nurture the fans that you have already. I don't care if it's 10. You know what I mean? Yeah, you need 1,000, of course. Yeah, I get it. The more fans, the more finances, the more you're able to leverage. I get that. But a lot of times we'll be like, it's not 1,000, it's not 1,000. And you're sitting here with 100 good fans that's willing to support you, and you're just ignoring them because it's not 1,000. I feel like just nurture the fans you have now.
And that's how you get to 1,000.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, right? Yeah. That it'll grow because you're putting in the work with the fans right now. And if I'm not a fan and I see how you treat your fans, that's going to instantly make me a fan. You ain't even got to do too much after that. Like, you know, I'll support you just because, I respect that. I respect how they move. I respect how they treat their fans. I respect how they treat people, because in the industry, you don't see that a lot. Just so like that alone would really be good for that.
Yeah. Going down that line further, even who do you think as an artist or creator is doing that really well, where you look at how they treat their fans, treat their community, that you've either learned a lot from or you just looked at and thought that was a really dope way to
LaRussell.
Okay.
LaRussell is killing it right now. Him, Dear Silas, that's the one who did I Ain't Stressing Today, and everybody was like, doing all that. That's him. Those two I've seen, they're really doing it, and they're independent artists. Like they really are putting their blood, sweat, and tears in that. And I'm like, I respect that. That's fire right there. And LaRussell, he does this thing called The Backyard, where he has a lot of people come in and he's just really spitting to them. Like he's just rapping. They know his words. I feel like as an independent artist, that's huge. You're not everywhere, but you have a group of following that will follow you. Who else is probably another one? I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, but those are the two recently that's really just been Toby. Yeah, Toby. Now Toby is probably a little bit bigger than them now, but he started off doing things with the youth too. He started doing things with the youth, and he ended up. And what I love about him, he's like me, a family man, and everything is in-house with him. His wife hops on the tracks, rap. His sister does beats. Like his friends are dancers and stuff. Like I thought that was pretty cool to be an independent artist and have your family do those things.
Yeah. What other kind of things have you found that have allowed you to do a lot of these things that you say are important, but on, like you say, an independent artist budget and like with those constraints that come when you're not?
Right. So it's two things, right? You either going to pay with time or you're going to pay with money. One of the two. If you ain't got a lot of time, I hope you got a lot of money, because that's the only way you're going to get yourself out there. But I would say, in order for you to be successful as an independent artist, as somebody who doesn't have a large budget, everything you do has to be about your brand. Like everything. Literally, I'm here with you guys. First thing I have on is my shirt. You know what I'm saying? I go to the airport when I'm flying, I have on a shirt. Like, you have to think about it when you go into a restaurant, like probably let's say McDonald's or something like that. When you walk in there, you know it's McDonald's. Why? Because you see their uniform, they have their logos on their cup, there's logos on the bag, you know what I'm saying? It's logos on the app. If you're an independent artist, you need to have all that. You need to have your logo, you need to have your own merch, and you need to be wearing your own merch, because you never know who you may run into. And even if they don't know me, right? If they saw my logo somewhere else, they'll be like, yo, I saw that somewhere, or I know that somewhere. And a lot of artists don't do that. They were over here like trying to look like these sound artists and trying to be fly and wearing all these expensive clothing. What is that doing for you? Like, it's not doing nothing for your brand. Yeah, you look nice, but that's it. What am I going to remember you for? You know what I'm saying? So you should really be invested in yourself and everything you do. And then if it's something you like I like wristbands, got some custom wristbands. I like watches, got a custom watch. Like, there's things that you can do. I know my people who like to smoke, I don't know if it's smoker friendly, but there's people who like to smoke. They literally have their own like blunts. You know what I'm saying? That's like that. So whatever it is that you like to do, you need to tie it into your brand and make it like big.
Yeah. Why do you think a lot of people don't focus as much on their brand early?
Probably because they don't know. Or I know a big thing is, my music will sell itself. You know what I mean? They gonna bubble with my music. My music's gonna be dope enough, and then everybody's gonna follow me. Man, Spotify says they upload thousands, millions of songs a day. You think your one single is gonna blow up off of, like, no. It's like a needle in a haystack. So what you have to do now is you have to bring awareness to who you are and what you represent and what you do. And a lot of times they just think it's just focused on the music. And some artists struggle with that. Some artists, they don't know how to do that. They can't separate that. They just know they're gifted musically, and that's all they're focusing on. And they lose focus on the music when they start focusing on these other things on the business side and marketing and stuff, which you do need a team, but you got to find a way to kind of split the time until you're able to get that team to focus on just building your catalog. And then once you build your catalog up, then start promoting or have somebody promoting in the meantime. Yeah.
And as we move forward into the future, what do you think that future looks like in terms of tech, in terms of the relationship between artists and fans? What are you most excited for in that future?
Man, honestly, like, I feel like we're here now with this AI stuff. Like, we literally had few cases where there was an AI rapper, that NLL Chop or whatever, I forgot what his name was, that they created a whole robot, and this person had like TikTok like showed up. It's crazy stuff like that. Like, I feel like we're opening the doors to different ways to get the music, because the music is the product. How you get it out there is different. It could be a puppet, a robot. Hell, Marshmallow got big and we didn't see his face for the longest time, and all he had was a costume.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like it's just all about just being innovative with what comes out. I do feel like holographic performance is going to be a little bit more, where people are you actually can pull up and see Tupac perform, and it's going to be a hologram, and people's going to enjoy it. I feel like that's where we're at now. And you may see more and more robots, you know, on some Futurama stuff. You're going to see some more and more people really start to embrace that. And I feel like we're here. Like, it already has started already with technology and stuff.
So how do artists stand out or make the most of that technology in that world?
I mean, utilize it. Like, you utilize what's out there. Now, I don't think nothing's going to replace an actual human being, because we have certain feelings, we got certain emotions and stuff that'll be out there. But that's like in the performance type. But just like on the radio and stuff, I mean, believe it or not, the radio is already automated, except for big markets. Big markets may have people that still are on the radio. And I used to work at a radio. That was one of my first jobs in the industry. And by the time I got old enough to really be like, all right, I'm going to step away from radio, it's not live anymore. Like, other than your primetime hours, everything else is pre-recorded. It's automated.
Yeah.
some stations right now already have what songs are going to play at what time from now. It's Thursday.
Yeah.
Now until the weekend, they already have the songs that's going to play. They already have what's going to do. And all the talent does is come in there and just looks at that and they look at the list. Hey, that was such and such by such and such, man. We got this going on, we got this. Check us out later. Peace out. And that's it.
Yeah.
There's no more live real things anymore. So we're here. Everything's automated.
Yeah. And you talked a little bit about data. You talked about marketing. For people and creators that don't have a team, which you mentioned is super important.
Right.
What should they be doing to learn more about that, to leverage more marketing and data? Right.
So, one, watch a lot of YouTube. Like YouTube University is probably the best. You can learn about that. And then get apps like Rivet. Like it's all in one spot. Like you log into your accounts. It monitors the things that you do. And you just got to think about it as a business. I feel like when you enter the music industry, when you start, it feels fun because it's something you love to do. And for most artists, it was a hobby. It's a hobby that they want to do. But if you're crossing over into making money off of this and want to do this as a career, you have to treat it like a business. And that means a business doesn't stop just because something happens or the seasons change. They adapt. So even an ice cream shop is still in business during the winter months. But what do you think they're doing to stay in business? I'm asking you. What do you think? What do you think they're doing to stay in business?
I actually haven't thought about it.
Yeah, think about it now. We got time. What do you think an ice cream shop is doing? You think they just shut down and that's it?
Oh yeah, they just keep marketing to you, telling you that they still are out.
They're still out there.
Outside,
but what do you think they selling now? You think they still selling ice cream? And this Chicago, bro. Yeah. I know they ain't selling ice cream in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So what do you think they selling now?
Yeah, some hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate, right? Yeah. You got to switch it up.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just how we need to look at it as artists. Like you can't make a summertime when it's about to be Christmas. That ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we have to think like that. We got to think about what season. People just think, oh yeah, I'm doing a song that's fire. Is it the right season for that? Is it the right energy for that? Like it can get deep into the science. Do you think that these type of instruments are being played during this time? Like if I hear a guitar loop or a nice little guitar loop, I'm thinking spring, summertime. It's, I'm trying to wet the windows down and all that stuff. But nah, pay attention to pay attention this holiday season. Pay attention and listen to the type of music that's coming out there. It's more R&B. It's more chill. The BPM is slower. You have some fast BPMs, but it sounds like a family oriented stuff like that. But summertime, it's hot girl summer. Yeah. It's all of this stuff. It's high energy. Everything is, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
everything is vibing in the summertime. So you got to really think about that and then think about when you're going to drop that. Because that has a lot to do with how many people are really going to jam your music too. Like, is it dropping at the right time? Pay attention to these artists. They drop certain times out of year for a reason. That's because they study. You got to study your audience. Study. That's why that data is so important for you to understand what group you're targeting. Because for instance, if you're targeting a younger group, why would you drop something during school hours? They don't have their phones. You know what I mean? But if you drop after 3-4 o'clock, what's the first thing a high school student or a school student in general is about to do as soon as they get their phone? Grow. Yeah. So if you posting around that time, all right, you know what I mean? But you got to think about it like that.
Yeah. And you also mentioned some really good things about consistency when you start to think about it as a business.
Right.
There's a lot of people who only think about when they have something. Okay, now it's time to do artist stuff or do marketing because of this thing.
Yep.
But you're artist for the year, you're a creator throughout the year, your business is running throughout the year.
Right.
And you need to nurture that audience, that fan base,
right.
And continue to cater to them.
Right. You definitely have to do that. And I tell artists, promoting yourself is like going to the gym. You need to at least do it at 3 to 5 times out the week for you to really make an impact. Because you got to think there's always things posting. And we have an attention span of so short right now where the first 3 seconds, if it don't catch our attention, we hitting that next button or we skipping.
It's automatic.
Yeah, it's automatic gone. Even to dating, that's how we do. No, you know what I'm saying? They're not even trying to do anything. So if they do that in everything else in life, why wouldn't they do that with your music? So you really gotta just structure things to get people's attention and promote at least 3 to 5. Because I know some people, they were like, oh, you got to post every day, da 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 da. That gets stressful. And I know I've came like as I was learning this, I kind of got turned off of music because it's like, this is not even enjoyable anymore because now I'm focused so much on having to post every day, edit. And, I do my things myself. So now I got to edit the videos and add content, da, 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 da. Nah, you just got to do maybe 3 to 5, depending on how your workload is, your schedule is, or whatever the case may be. And also, I would say pre-record. If you pre-record some of your stuff like weeks in advance and then chop it up to micro content, you can schedule your posts. Hey, this is going to post Monday. This is going to post Wednesday. This is going to post Friday. You have the technology to do that. This is utilizing those tools to help make your job easier for that. And I've done that a lot. Like I'll have what's called a production day, and sometimes it's on a Saturday. And we just like the whole Saturday, we clear the schedule. We just record maybe 1, 2 episodes, 3 episodes, or this song, that song, this song. We'll probably record an album's worth of songs in a day, and just like, all right, which ones do we like? All right, well, we're going to release this month. We're going to release this month, and do it like that. Just keep it simple.
Yeah. And when you started to feel early on that it wasn't as enjoyable, the marketing was just taking away too much from all the other stuff, what was it that got you to figure out this happy medium? And how would you advise artists that see that, get daunted by it, and just don't know how to approach it because it's taking them away from the art too much?
Right. One, you have to acknowledge it. Like, you have to know, like, hey, this is bothering me. And then 2, I would recommend maybe just go somewhere to clear your head, whatever that may be. Mine's is traveling. So it don't necessarily have to be like out the city or out the state. I may go downtown and go sit at a park and just chill, throw on some headphones, listen to other genres that may not be in the genre that I specialize in, just to kind of get myself out there. And last but not least, I would definitely say you have to have a cutoff time. I know for me, I used to grind from like the morning, everybody like I grind morning to the night. Nah, bro, like you got to cut it off at some point in time. Like for me, when I get to about 7, 8 o'clock, which is probably a little bit after dinner, I don't do anything else. I just enjoy what I want to enjoy. It's therapeutic for me, like to be able to just chill and not have to worry about nothing. Because after 8 o'clock, don't ask me to do nothing. Don't ask me to change nothing. Don't ask me to edit anything because it's not happening. I got you the next day. Eminem really showed that. He was like, I treat it like a 9 to 5. You have to treat it like what's my hours of operation. I'm gonna start this time and I'm gonna cut off this time. Hey, I'm sorry. I would love to help you. And the only time I may work past that time is like if it's a very time sensitive project. And obviously if you're paying for it, like, yo, I need this expedited. Okay. At that point, yeah, we got to get to it. But if I have a choice, yeah, I'm cutting off at a certain time. And that has allowed my mind to be more fresh. It allowed me to be less stressed. And it just allowed me to really like function better. Because sometimes, even though you grind those long hours, like if I'm listening to a mix for a super long time, my ears will get fatigued. Or if I'm staring at a screen for a super long time, my eyes will get fatigued. So it's not sharp. It's not making like split decisions. It's not making the right choices. So that your health, your body, your rest is super important.
That's awesome. So what you excited to do the rest of your time in Chicago?
Man, first trying to find some more good grub because Chi-Town got some good eats, man. Let's go. And then I don't know, man, maybe something later on this evening after my little event. I don't know, man. Just chill. Just trying to enjoy it as much as possible, man. I ain't trying to do nothing too crazy. Not too crazy. I gotta get up early in the flight. Other than that, yeah, man.
Awesome. Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, definitely make sure you check out my YouTube web series, 5 Minutes of Twizdom on YouTube. It goes more in details for some of the things that I mentioned, tutorials on how to do certain things, and just overall, man, just learn how to grow your brand. What else do I need to plug in? Yeah, shouts out to my school, New Visions. Like they really dope. You know what I mean? They gave me this opportunity to be able to do that. And just shouts out to everybody, man, who's in my corner and just believe in the dream and just allow me. Shouts out to my wife. Kids.
Right here.
Yeah, man. My wife's my number one supporter and she holding it down right now with the kids. So she probably like, yo, you need Eric to come back. You got me crazy. But I appreciate her because, without her, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do. So it's lit.
That's awesome, man. Fanarchy with Rivet. We out.
Let's go.